Okay, picture this. You're out on a job site, maybe it's remote, the pressure's on, and some critical piece of equipment needs turning, needs serious torque.
Right. And you reach for a tool.
Exactly. You grab a tool and it slips. Or maybe it chews up the fitting, or, worst case, it just snaps.
Been there. It's incredibly frustrating.
Now scale that up. Think
Yeah.
heavy industry. Oil and gas, utilities, big manufacturing. Equipment failure there isn't just annoying, it's potentially, a multi-million-dollar nightmare.
Oh, easily. It stops operations cold. Huge safety implications, too.
So that really brings up the question, doesn't it? What's the actual difference between a tool that's just, good enough and one that's properly engineered? Engineered to perform without fail every single time.
That's the core of it.
Well, today on the Deep Dive, we're getting specific. We're looking into a really vital piece of kit, the industrial chain wrench.
Yeah.
And even more specifically, we're digging into Petol Gearench chain wrenches. Our mission today really is to figure out why these tools aren't just handy, but fundamentally essential.
Yeah.
Essential for keeping things running smoothly, keeping workers safe, and, let's be honest, protecting the bottom line.
Absolutely. We've looked at industry sources, technical specs, trying to unpack what makes them tick.
And the impact they have in those really tough environments.
It's fascinating, actually, because often the real fight isn't the big engineering puzzle itself. It's the sort of hidden cost of compromising on your tools.
What do you mean?
Well, like you said, using cheaper stuff, those hardware store finds, our research pretty clearly shows it leads straight to strip parts, busted knuckles, jobs running late.
Right.
One source we looked at put it bluntly, downtime is the real enemy in heavy industry. The knock-on effects are just huge.
Huge is right. We're not talking about, a shelf falling down at home.
Yeah.
We're talking about trying to break loose some fitting that's corroded solid and caked in mud out in an oil field somewhere.
Yeah, a really nasty situation.
And trying to do that with the wrong wrench, that could genuinely be a 5-figure mistake, as one report mentioned, maybe more.
Oh, absolutely. That's real money, real delays, real risk, all because someone maybe saved a few bucks on a wrench up front.
It really highlights that difference, doesn't it, between a basic tool and one that's purpose-built for that kind of extreme stress.
Exactly. And that's why the people making the buying decisions, procurement teams, safety officers, operations directors, they just can't afford to compromise. It's not an option.
They need that zero-compromise performance.
That's the phrase, yeah. They need gear that's tough enough to, say, break sweated connections that seem impossible to move, but also it needs to grip smooth, maybe slick pipe, without chewing it to bits.
Delicate, but strong.
Kind of, yeah. And it needs to last. It needs to outlast your best operator working in brutal conditions, heat, cold, mud, whatever. They just have to perform.
Okay, so that's the challenge. How do you actually engineer a tool to meet that incredibly high bar? Which, I guess, brings us right to Petol Gearench.
Right.
Everything we read suggests these aren't just beefed-up standard wrenches. They're described as instruments, engineered for brute force turning power, unmatched durability, and job site safety.
That's the core idea. They're designed specifically to grab hold, turn, and break free even the absolute nastiest seized, threaded connections you can imagine.
It sounds impressive. But what's actually under the hood, so to speak? What makes them different?
Well, it's not just about being heavy. It's smart engineering, focusing on reliability and safety. Take the handles and chains, for example.
Right.
You've got these robust, no-slip handles, obviously important for control, but then the chains are heat-treated, and that's not just making them hard.
What does it do, exactly?
Heat treatment actually changes the steel's internal structure, its grain. It makes it much stronger, more resistant to stretching or breaking under really high torque.
Ah, okay. So the chain itself is less likely to fail when you're really reefing on it?
Precisely. And combined with a good grip on the handle, that means better control, less chance of the wrench slipping, which is a huge cause of accidents and damaged gear.
And that connects to another key feature we saw mentioned, the zero pipe crush idea. Damage prevention.
Yes, this is critical. A lot of traditional wrenches have sharp teeth. They bite in, sure, but they can really scar or even deform the pipe.
Especially if it's something expensive, like stainless steel.
Exactly. Or specialty alloys. Petol Gearench tools are designed to turn tough but leave your equipment and delicate finishes intact. They specifically point out the lack of jaw teeth to scar pipes or fittings.
So how do they grip so well without teeth? Is it just more surface area from the chain?
That's a big part of it. Instead of focusing all the pressure on a few sharp points, the chain wraps around and distributes that turning force much more evenly.
Yep.
You get incredible friction over a wider area, loads of torque, but without digging in and causing those stress points that crush or mar the pipe. It's about powerful grip and protecting the asset.
Makes sense.
Plus, they talk about the non-slip grip in general, designed to give you effortless control even when things are messy. Covered in mud, oil, or whatever the shift throws at you.
Yeah.
That's huge for safety.
It sounds like they've really thought about the specific tough situations operators face. And it's not just one wrench, right? They have different models for different jobs.
Oh, definitely. It's quite specialized. Like, for those really stubborn frozen connections, particularly in oil and gas,
Yeah.
there's the Gearench Petol Special Chain C142P. It's known as a favorite for breaking out frozen threaded pipe connections, described as heavy duty, but the design really focuses leverage and chain grip for that specific high torque breakout job.
Gotcha. So built for that initial really tough turn.
Exactly. Then for stuff that's more continuous, high demand work, think pipelines, drill lines, big utility projects.
Okay.
You've got the Gearench Petol Drill Pipe Tongue Chain 1514515D. This one's built for relentless round-the-clock operations. It's about delivering serious torque consistently, shift after shift without wearing out. Reliability is paramount there.
Because a tool failure stops the whole line.
Pretty much. Downtime is poison.
And then there are the really extreme cases.
Yeah, for the absolute worst-case scenarios, there's the Gearench Petol Special Chain Extra, C12244P. This is positioned as the extra heavy-duty pipe wrench for the nastiest industrial settings.
When nothing else works.
Basically, where downtime costs thousands an hour and you just need maximum industrial muscle. It's engineered for ultimate strength and leverage.
Wow. Okay.
And you see that focus on durability across the board. The Gearench Petol Chain Complete WSC3715P, for instance, it highlights the heat-treated steel for real-world durability again,
Right.
and emphasizes how the chain design prevents slippage and pipe damage. It's that combo of toughness and protection.
And one more, the tongs. Petol Gearench Chain Tongs, CPA13. What's their specific angle?
Those are really focused on gripping and turning pipe without leaving scars or deformities behind. Preserving the asset is key. They're built for operators who expect tools to outlast a shutdown, meaning they need to perform reliably through intense, continuous work periods.
Okay, so we've seen the engineering, the specific applications. Let's connect the dots. What does all this actually mean for you, the listener, if you're working in these industries? Let's start with procurement, folks.
Right. For procurement professionals, investing in tools like these isn't just, buying hardware. It's a strategic decision.
How so?
It directly translates to reduced downtime and uninterrupted workflow. That hits the efficiency and bottom line squarely. You're moving from just fulfilling orders to actively boosting how well the operation runs.
So it's about total cost of ownership, not just the sticker price.
Exactly. It's about smart long-term value. Choosing the wrench or tong engineered for your team's needs, not just grabbing what's on hand, helps streamline supply/risk and win every bid because your operations become more reliable.
And that's where a good supplier relationship becomes important, I guess.
Absolutely. This is where places like PEEnergy.com fit in. They're positioned as America's trusted wholesale source for Petol Gearench. They're not just box shifters, they understand the industry.
What do they offer specifically?
Well, things like legendary brand selection, access to the full product lines and accessories, so you get the right tool for oil and gas, utilities, whatever heavy industry you're in. No more making do.
That avoids those risky improvisations.
Precisely. And they offer volume and project pricing. That means potential for big ticket savings on large orders for maintenance, shutdowns, turnarounds. That's music to a procurement manager's ears.
Makes sense. What about logistics? Getting the gear on time is critical.
Yeah, they emphasize 247 inquiries and bulk fulfillment, aiming for no-hassle orders, real expert support, and on-time delivery. Keeping projects moving is vital.
And you mentioned they understand the industry.
Right, it's backed by experience. They have an industrial-savvy team that gets the importance of spec sheets, timelines, and safety requirements. They speak the language. That makes a huge difference in getting procurement right for major projects.
Okay, now shift perspective. What about operations directors? What's the key message for them?
For operations, it boils down to unmatched reliability. It's about having performance you can bet the farm on, especially for that critical infrastructure pipelines, drill lines.
What's the real cost when something breaks down unexpectedly in their world?
It's crippling. Our sources really hammered this home, where breakdowns can set back productivity for hours, sometimes days. Having dependable equipment is not a luxury, it's a lifeline.
A lifeline, that's strong.
It really is. It impacts everything: output targets, contract deadlines, even team morale. Knowing your tools won't fail you under pressure lets the whole operation breathe easier and keep moving forward.
Okay, final group. Safety officers. What's the angle for them?
This is huge. All those features we talked about, the non-slip handles, the super durable heat-treated chains that won't snap unexpectedly, the control you get,
Yeah.
they all directly minimize risk and protect workers on site. It's about actively creating a safer working environment through better tool design. Proactive safety, not just reactive.
So better tools mean fewer accidents, fewer injuries.
Absolutely. It provides that peace of mind knowing the equipment meets the highest standards of durability and performance. You're equipping your teams with tools designed to enhance their safety, not create new hazards.
So wrapping this up, it seems the big takeaway is that these Petol Gearench chain wrenches aren't just strong. They combine that industrial muscle with some really smart engineering. Precision almost.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And that combination directly leads to better operations, improved safety, and ultimately lower overall costs in these really demanding industries.
They're tools built to keep going so your operation can keep going.
Exactly. Tools that don't quit, and neither will your operation.
You know, when you break it down like this, the decision about which wrench to use seems less like a small detail and more like a pretty significant strategic choice.
It really is. It impacts job success, worker well-being, the financials, even the reputation of the company over the long haul.
It definitely makes you think, doesn't it? What other small choices, what other pieces of equipment or supplies are you relying on day to day? Are they truly safeguarding your biggest assets, or could they be, quietly causing problems down the line?
That's a really important question for anyone in these fields to consider. A very provocative thought to end on.